Night whispers.
Needs a hobby. So what's yours? Resurrection.
As God sent forth his Son, so that murderer, so that accuser, so that deceiver the devil, though he has yet to seemingly incarnate himself, nevertheless sends false lights out into the world. After all, if you want to hide a buttercup, hide it in a field of buttercups. Do you know what I mean? This is a long war. Evangelism surely does well then, when it invites the lost to come back home.
Night whispers, 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 whispers.
And here's Robert.
The title of today's Night Whisper is Bring Me Home. And your Night Whisper word is hope. John chapter 1 verse 9 says this: "That was the true light which gives light to every man coming into the world." Now friends, the designation of Jesus as the true light most certainly intimates that there are false lights which are come into this world. False lights which do not offer safety, but rather sometimes misdirect the follower of the one true light to both danger and to death. As God sent forth his Son, so that murderer, so that accuser, so that deceiver the devil, though he has yet to seemingly incarnate himself, nevertheless sends false lights out into the world. This is one reason why there are so many religions. The devil sent all of them but one. After all, if you want to hide a buttercup, hide it in a field of buttercups. Do you know what I mean? Make no mistake about it then, we are surrounded by false lights. Lights that have shone on cultures for generations and shaped them to their own pitiful pulsating wavelength. This is a long war, and the devil has been around a long time, laying down his buoys of false light across the bobbing surface of the swelling sea of humanity as it has eventually enveloped the globe. Remember, if Jesus is that one true light, then all the others are by definition and by practice false lights. Think about that. The difference between the false lights and the one true light is easy to discern. For the one true light emits the warmth of life. All other lights are cold. In addition to that, it is the warmth of this light of life that every man is familiar with at some level. For the one true light of life is in essence a warm thing, an inviting thing, a loving thing. Yes, it is the fire of comfort blazing in the hearth of safety in the great welcome hall of the place which our spirit testifies as being home. Remember that we are spirit beings occupying a physical body which engages with the material realm. The confluence of our physical creation, the miraculous joining of sperm and egg, may have produced our tent of occupancy, but as it was knit together by God according to his own desired pattern, we came from God into this body. Our spirits didn't come from our parents, they came from God. We arrived in the body from somewhere else, you see, and that somewhere else, that someone else, is God. Now, I do confess that I do not perceive the mechanism of this transaction, neither do I know the reasons of this method of creation, nor the mystery of its continuance in a failed and fallen world. Yet the Scriptures, though nowhere declaring a pre-mortal spirit existence of our spirit with God or with other spirits, certainly declares that the spirit is created by God, proceeding from God and returning to God for judgment, the spirit creation, each of which then conjoins with the body via the interface of the soul, making a complete three-part human being of body, soul and spirit, I assume must take place at conception. And therefore, thinking that God does not have a large wardrobe of pre-made designer spirits all hung up there on hangers waiting to be activated and clothed in a newly conceived child, then he's still in the business, isn't he? He must be, of unresting creating, even on a Sunday. Even so, I'm not aware of any revelation of the intricacies of these matters in the Holy Scriptures. However, they do say that the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 7. So at death, the spirit of man departs from the body and returns from where it came. That is, God. And when it came from God, I would suggest that the Maker's mark endued it with the perception of that one true light of home. Yes, I propose that every man knows the real glow of the one true light of home, Jesus. Maybe I might also suggest that the candle of God exists in every man, that he might yet have both an understanding of home and a comparison of true and of false light. I might also suggest that there is no true life without understanding this true light. I wonder then, in proclaiming the gospel, we need to show the lost the nightlight of the Lord, set in his window of waiting for all his lost sons to find their way back home. Evangelism surely does well then, when it invites the lost to come back home. Listen. Then Jesus spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. John 8, verse 12. Pray with me, please. Creator God, maker of all things, Father of lights, whose candle still flickers in the winds of all our fallen beings, shine then upon our path and light our way to you. O God on high, hear our prayer, for we declare that in our need you have always been there. Bring us peace, bring us rest in your Son, make us fully blessed, bring us light, bring us the light of your face. Bring me hope. Bring me grace. Bring me home.
Join us tomorrow for Night Whispers. Same time, same station.
Tonight's Night Whisper was brought to you by Pastor Victor Robert Farrell, author of Night Whispers and president of the 66 Books Ministry. If you want more Night Whispers, then please go to www.night-whispers.com. That's www.night-whispers.com.
Don't miss the next Night Whispers.